Hi, everybody. It's late. It's late. I don't know who's up with me. It's one of those times, like, I live on the East Coast, and I feel like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they've always been really emotionally cognizant times for me. So, I'm up, and I'm just thinking about a lot of stuff. If you are going to watch this, whether you're watching it when it's live or if you catch it afterward, I want you to think about a relationship that you had that you've really never had the ability to completely let go. Like, it's been hard. And if you can remember that time, if you can remember being in a situation where you still have a part of your soul that's merged with another being, you understand how hard it is to break those ties. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I had that. I'm going through that right now. And it's so ridiculous because a lot of the writings that I post, a lot of my poems that I've written, most of my creative expression revolves around the different extremes and levels and frequencies of the love that I've experienced from this person. And I'm a person that loves extremely, extremely deeply. Like, if you have me in your life and I love you and I bond with you and I open up to you on an emotional level, it literally takes me an extremely long time to recuperate from that type of a bond or a connection. Hi, Lavita. So, let me tell you about this, because I feel like I hold a lot of stuff in, and it really affects my energy. It really affects my aura. It really affects how I carry myself. And I just got to get it off my chest, you know? Oh my goodness, Lavita, I'm so sorry that happened to you. My condolences to you, sweetheart. That's really sad. So, his name is Aiden. He is 34. He's a Cancer. He's a Nubian, born in Kenya, raised in Norway. He speaks 7 languages. He has a master's degree in international business law. He's probably the most finest man I've ever seen in my life. Like, and I'm not saying that just because I was with him. I'm saying that, like, I've never seen anybody in person that was more attractive than him. The most gentle of souls, the most sensitive person I know, aside from my granny, the most supportive person I've ever known, and he's my twin flame. And no matter how I feel, no matter how much pain that I have from our breakup or from whatever the fuck this is, like, I can never bring myself to badmouth him. I can never bring myself to say anything about him that is wrong or slanderous. I can never stay upset with him for too long because I understand him. Even the things that I don't like, I understand him. And it's so painful because we have this bond that if I think about him, he feels it. If he thinks about me, I feel it. We visit each other in our dreams. We just have that connection. We just got that bond. We're just that tight. And it was an instantaneous connection. Like there was really there was no waiting period. It just, we talked, we met, and we fell in love. Like, and everybody I know who knows about him, they love him. They loved him for me. They were cast under his spell, really. My granny loves him. She loves him so much. And I really have never in my life experienced that type of a deep-rooted, emotional, soulful, mental, physical, like a bond that touched all layers, all forms of love. Like every single thing, every point, everything I ever wanted in a man, every single thing that I could ever dream of, he was that person. He is that person. So to turn around and be ready to marry this person, be a person that met his daughter and just was ready to form a life and live a life with this person, it literally took the wind out of me for a long time. Actually, I would say, because it was around this time last year that we broke up. And it took me months, like, to even not break down randomly in tears and cry. It took everything in me to hold it together. And even then, there was times when I couldn't do that. There was times even then where I would be fine, and then next thing I know, I got a whiff of him, or I saw a commercial or anything, and I would just like be done. I'd be done. And what's most hard about it is that it wasn't us. Like, our bond, our relationship, everything was solid. So it wasn't even us that brought us apart. It was circumstances, situations, and outside factors that did it. And I'm saying that because, like, I'm at a point in my life where I realize that we probably won't wind up together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we probably won't ever make it to the point to where I'm walking down the aisle with him. And it's making me very heartbroken to say this, but I gotta say it because I need to start being realistic with myself and the situation, because it may never happen. And I gotta be prepared for that, because I know I've been wrong in the sense of dating other people, trying to replace him, trying to find people who make me feel like him. Like, and I know I'm wrong for this, because the next guy I dated after him kind of looked like him. The dude after that was from the same part of the world he was from. Oh, I'm so wrong about that, I know, but I don't know. I really wasn't like ready for it to be over. And I really was not ready to deal with the sting of how love feels when it's like lost. I wasn't prepared for that. Like I had jumped in like a cannonball, you know what I'm saying? And it was too late to stop once I realized that it was concrete. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I just kind of pretended, like I just kind of froze things. I just stopped and stayed right there. I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to land on my ass. I didn't want to land on my face. I just kind of stood there suspended in the air because I was afraid to make another move. And it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I've dated you since him, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we didn't work out, trust and believe that it's more than likely because of me. Even though I made you think it was about you. It really wasn't about you. It was because I was comparing you to him. He's like this standard. He's the rubric for what I judge men by. And it's not fair because he's from a different part of the world. He's from a whole different culture. He's from a different, you know what I'm saying? Like everything that they do over there is different. So it's not fair for me to judge you the way that he, the way he is. Like, and I will say this, and I realize just how fucked up of a person I have been and how fucked up I've become because I dated a freaking guy just out here last month or whatever. We dated and we were even going to be serious or whatever. And the reason why I even let him date me was because his birthday was a day before my ex's. I was like, oh yeah, y'all have a similar, like in my head I'm thinking, oh, he has similar placements, we would work it out. And it's not about that. It just didn't work, and it didn't work because I went in there thinking that he was going to remind me of my ex. And it's not fair to him. It's not fair to that person. And even though that person really wasn't right for me, I had to blame myself for even putting myself in that position because it was my fault for even entertaining somebody who I didn't have the right motives for being with in the first place. And like, I don't think I've ever had like a really, like, it's been a long time since I had a really good, healthy cry about this because today I wrote this really sad love poem. I wrote it at my job and it just reminded me like of him. It reminded me of how I felt through the first couple of months when I was in that standstill, when I became a little bit more of the shell of the woman that I was when I was with him. Because see, this person illuminated me from the inside out. This person, like, I never felt as beautiful as I did when I was with him. Like, there was no wrong. I couldn't do no wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have literally been wearing a potato sack and not did my hair in 3 weeks. And this dude would have just looked at me like I was the most bomb thing that ever walked on 2 legs, And I was just so comfortable. I was not insecure. I never had a reason to be. I never felt like I was in competition with somebody else. I never felt like I was less than. I didn't even have shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from the hood. I come from nothing. I come from not having shit to being with a person that didn't even learn how to drive till he was like well grown because he always had a driver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always was like concerned with the fact that I was a truck driver when I met this dude, and he thought that was the most attractive shit in the world. And it's like, I'm learning now that you cannot try to replace a bond with a person. You cannot try to substitute a person in your life, because it's not fair to the person that you're adding into your life as a substitute. It's not fair to them. And it's not fair to you. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being genuine. And if you've been a person, like I said, and we've talked on that level, and I've you know what I'm saying? Like, I've just treated you however I treated you. Like, I'm very sorry about that, because I realized I was not in the right spot. I was not in the right mindset. I wasn't in the right position or emotional state to be in a relationship with somebody, or to even think about being in a relationship with somebody. And part of the journey that I'm on right now about doing the things that are right for myself includes being honest with myself. It includes being real with myself and addressing all the things that I need to address and owning up to my shit. He's still alive. There's nothing wrong with him. We have a great relationship, aside from just coming from different cultures and his father interfering with our relationship. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's what happened to him. He still messages me. He still calls me. And I feel like at this point in my life, I gotta let that stop. Like, I cannot allow him to pop back into my life. Like, I have to cut it completely, because I can't do the half-assed thing. Like, it's torture. So he was born in Africa. He was born in Kiwayu, Kenya, an island off the coast of Kenya. He was raised in Norway. So he's Scandinavian. And I'm saying all this because I'm learning what I have to do to get right with myself. I'm learning what I need to do to be on the right track. And that starts with addressing that I have a lot of past hurt from relationships, and I never really healed from any of that. And I just kind of keep going on and on and on, never addressing the core problem. And it's really not fair of me to do that. So Venus, what his dad did is, so their family is rich and everything, and they're traditional Muslim people, and he's the face of the company. They have like this family-run business. They have a family-run business. And he's the face of the company because he speaks the most languages and people like him the most. And he basically doesn't want to do that shit. His dream is to bring coffee to the United States. Real coffee, because he says that we have shit coffee, swamp water. Starbucks is ass compared to coffee in the rich parts of the world. And he bought land in Africa, different parts of Africa, to grow and harvest the coffee beans and then export it to London and the United States, Chicago. And his dad got his land seized by some corrupt government officials. And like he had invested his savings into it all and everything, and they basically were like, the land was seized and he was going to have to pay like way more money than he had access to. And then his dad was basically saying like, you're, you know, like as a means to control him, basically to make him go back to work for the family business. And the pain that his dad, like just that betrayal and everything, is kind of what caused it to end. Like, and we've never like officially ended. I feel like that's partially what the thing is, but I have to end it. Like, I have to be the one that cuts the ties. Like, he's never cut the ties with me. We never, like, you know, decided to not get with each other or be with each other anymore. But the way that happened, and the way that this is a person I'm planning on spending my life with, this is a person I plan on marrying and having children with, and then accepting his child and my own, like, if you're going through something that severe, you cannot just disappear. You cannot just go off and soul search in Africa and then not say shit and not talk to anybody, not talk to me, you know what I'm saying, the wife to be. Like, you can't do that to somebody. And he did for months. 4 months before I even heard shit. And yeah. No, we had a long distance relationship. Like, over the last year, he's been between South Africa, London, Norway, and wherever the fuck else. I really don't know where he's been. I haven't talked to him very much. Like, I'll probably talk to him maybe 10 times this year. But see, that's the thing. It's like, that's totally unfair to say that it's not over, and then you leave me emotionally tied to you and soulfully tied to you, and then you pop back in my life every so often. And, you know, it's just, it's too messy. And it's like, I cannot demote our relationship down to a fucking friendship. Like, we can't go from about to be married and having a fucking family and talking multiple times throughout the day and communicating all the time, you talking to my family loving you, my friends loving you, to a fucking every once in a while, maybe once a month I hear from you. I can't do that. And so, yes, I've been dating. I've been fucking. I've been kind of mindlessly fucking. I've never really given anybody my all. Never really given anybody my soul. I've never really done that. I've been extremely guarded. And I've been, you know, like I said, I've been doing what I wanted to do and everything. Because it's like, you don't just leave a person like that. But I wonder if it's because the way that our relationship was never settled. Yes, we have, La Vida. Yes, we have. Just met my granny. And my sister. But what I mean by that is, after his father and him got into it, it's been this weird relationship that never really ended. And like, with that being the case, I feel guilty moving on, but I also feel trapped by not moving on. And the only way that I can move on is to like move on as though this never happened. Like, literally mourn it, literally pretend that it's dead, like erase all thought of him, everything about him, take him out, like, and move on. Like, and like, like I have anxiety just thinking about that. Like, that would make it feel like the last few years of my life had been empty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm scared to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want it to just be like that. Like, but if I don't do that, I don't know how I'm going to be able to move forward and be in a healthy relationship moving forward. I don't know how I'm going to be healthy myself emotionally without doing it. And I'm fucking scared because I've never loved anybody like that in my life. I'm scared because I've never felt that type of bond with anybody in my life. And it makes me scared to imagine that being for nothing. That's my twin flame. It's been confirmed. I'm scared, though. I'm scared of that. And I'm like, just talking about it makes me scared. And like, I don't ever talk about it. I write about it. But I don't talk about it. It's funny because I talk to him spiritually all the time, Renee. And I a few months ago, like, I told him, like, it's done. I'm over it. Like, you can't keep one foot in the door to my soul. Like, you can't do that. And he called me the next day. And we talked for hours, and it was really weird. Like he was letting me know, like, he had finally got it all. I don't know if I mean it. Does that make sense? I don't know if I mean it. I don't know if I mean it. I don't want to mean it. Like, I want him to have the courage to fight for our... I want him to have the courage. I want... And I get mad at him. I get mad at him. And I tell him, I say, do you even care the way I do? Or do you understand how I feel? Do you even get what I've been through since this, you know? And oh my gosh. And then, like, it's just like when he talks to me, it's like I can't even stay mad. It's like, yeah, I know your little sensitive ass feels too. I just have a very hard time, like, I just don't like how he does shit. Like, I don't like it. I don't like how he does shit. I don't like how he's so, like, he's sensitive and I love it, but then, like, but then you're so sensitive. It's like, like, can you come on, like, put some backbone in it? But when we were together, I was the one that did that. Like, I was the one that was the firm one. I was the one that was I wore the pants in the relationship. Like, I you know, I was a tougher one. I was the one that consoled him. Like, I was the rock. Like, he had the money and shit, but I was the one, you know? So to turn around and then ask him to do what I would do, like, I would have no problem fighting for some shit. You know what I'm saying? But he's not that type of guy. He's literally, like, him and his dad have never gotten along. And when his mom passed, like, it got worse. And, when I talk to people who have his same moon sign, he has a Scorpio moon. When I talk to people who feel as intensely as he does, like, they understand exactly why he can't move on and why he can't let go and why he's so stuck and why he's like not able to get over it and why he feels as strongly as he does. Like, they understand him. And so now I have to realize that, obviously more than a few people who, after hearing his side, like, they understand and they were like, you just got to give him time. And I'm like, but see, I can't be put on the back burner like that. And maybe that's selfish. I don't know. I tried to be understanding. I really did. Like, but it's been a year. It's been a year. I've dated a lot. And it's like, either way, like, I just gotta be selfish and let him go and let everybody else go. And maybe in the future, if he gets it together, maybe y'all will. But I don't know. Anyway, I think I've vented enough. I've cried enough. I'm good. But if it takes me this long to get over the pain of him, then I can understand why it's taken him as long as it has for him to get over the pain that he has with his father, And just right now, it's probably not right, but to let it go, I have to like cut it all off and like, because I'm an extreme person. Either I care or I don't. Like, it's no in between with me. I'm very, very much an extreme lover. Like, either like I love you to your soul, to your depths of your being, or we ain't like that. And he's that person that I love to the core of him, to the microscopic level of him, and to everything that's inherently connected to him as a result of that. And, that's how life is right now. So, thank you for listening to my story. It was probably not even that sad, but it's sad to me because this has been the most emotionally laborious thing I've ever gone through, the most spiritually laborious thing. And it has been painful for a long time. A part of me that I know for a fact that I've denied that I've had as much of a pain for it in months, just because I know when it first happened, my friends got tired of hearing it. I used to have emergency cry sessions on the side of the road when I was driving the truck because I would just get overwhelmed to think about it. So, I'm a huge crybaby. And so anyway, moving forward in my life, I'm not looking for another twin flame. You only get one of those. But I had a conversation with a customer yesterday, and she loved the fact that I talked about that, and she cried while I was on the phone with her. She said that she's not looking for the twin flame anymore. She's okay with just a soulmate, because you get many of those, but you only get one twin flame. And she knows that in this lifetime, her and her twin flame are not going to be together anymore. And I feel like that, what she said yesterday, in conjunction with what I wrote today, and the live poem that I read today and saw today, just all those things are signs that it's okay to move on, and it's okay to not have that specific bond, because that's the bond I have with that person. I can't go into another relationship with a person hoping and trying to compare them to him. It's not fair. So you guys have a good night, and I'm going to eat something because I'm craving something sweet right now.